Hello, and welcome to Stretching the Word. I'm your host, Sister Valerie, and not today, devil, just not this year. Today, I'm going to take us back to school right quick. It's reading, writing, arithmetic. But before we ever went to school, God was already the great mathematician. When you first start off in Genesis, it talks about how he divided. He was dividing light from darkness, day from night. So before we were even thought about, God was being a mathematician. But of course, God is not selfish, but he is the author of all things. But because he's not selfish, he gave wisdom to man. And so, of course, he allowed man to say that, yeah, we came up with the idea of math. So God's not, he's not a jealous God. But he is a jealous God. But he will give you wisdom and allow you to use it. And when he gives you the wisdom, of course, we're supposed to use it for his glory. But that does not always happen. But moving on. Going back to school, we learn how to subtract, we learn how to add, we learn how to multiply, and to divide. But now, once again, when we look at the Bible, Jesus and God was doing all of these things way ahead of mankind. He told man how to do these things. But I'm going to bring it home to what he told us to do and how he will operate and how he does operate. If you remember some great stories in the Bible when they were out of wine and, they brought the barrel and it was plain water and Jesus filled it up and multiplied it. They had more than enough. They didn't run out. Once again, a great Bible story about the little lad, masses of people on the mountaintop listening to Jesus, and little lad had two little fish, 5 loaves of bread. Once again, God multiplied. So he is showing us that he is a mathematician. He can multiply. He can bring increase. Then he told us, Valerie's translation, get rid of your sin. Oh, now it's our turn to do some math. So now we have to subtract. We have to subtract the sin from our lives. Then he said, I'm going to cast it far away from you. I'm going to remove it. He's going to subtract it and throw it far away from us as the east is from the west. He's going to remove it. He's going to subtract it. When we give it to him, he's not going to hold on to it, the garbage. We throw away garbage. So when we throw away something, we move something, that's subtraction. So once we decide to subtract the sin and the garbage from our lives, then he does the same thing. Then he told us to do something else. He said, add to your faith, because he's already given you a measure of faith to believe. So since he's given you a measure of faith to believe, he told us to add some other things to it. We've discussed these things previously. So now it's your turn to go back into your word and to find out what you're supposed to be adding to your faith. Then, of course, you're doing good in school. You're doing your homework. You're getting those good grades. You want a reward, right? Sure we do. Don't say you don't, because we all want a reward for good works. So we've subtracted, then we've added. Now we want God to multiply. We want him to open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings upon us that we have not room enough to receive. And we know that he's a great multiplier. There you have it, a quick lesson in math for today. But before I say goodbye for today, I want to leave this little thought with you. It's getting hot outside. Summer is about to go into full bloom. We're going to be running for those cooling shelters. We're going to be running to get in that air condition. We're going to be running for those cold drinks. But just a thought, no air condition and no cool drinks will be found in hell.